So I want to start a little bit where I left off last week, and it kind of got deeper as we went on. So I think the topic last week was kind of this realization that our lives, and if we could sum up what it was about, that it's possible, and I'm not saying it's you, so don't think I'm accusing you of something or saying that this is something you do. But for me, there was a realization that my life had become and is and has always been this performance for the collective them. So this idea that as a human being in this day and society and nowadays, we kind of perform for the them. We continue to do all this behavior, and it kind of steers our behavior. If you examine it really closely, you'll see that you're about this. That this is kind of what we are about as a human being. That even when we're in our own home and we're speaking to our own kids and our own family members, there's still this looming they that is going to find out. This looming they that's going to watch us, how we treat people, and this looming they that's going to see. And when we go to work, there's a whole they at work. Then we get up and we get ready for them, and we're going to go perform for them, and that's just kind of how we steer our life. So as it went on, for me, that was true. Now, it might not be true for you, and maybe you're different, but for me, it just kind of showed up like that there was this type of thing in here that had me very concerned with them and very concerned with what they think, and to be honest, it's very true, and I can acknowledge that. And I can acknowledge that as I'm getting ready to come here at night, there's just a they. I don't see many of your faces, but there's a they that I'm thinking about, and I'm wondering if they will like what I have to say, and I'm wondering if they liked what I had to say last week, and I'm wondering if they will laugh, and I'm wondering if they'll be happy with me, and that's just kind of what concerns me. And so as we went on, this week started to get deeper into it, and this word surrender started showing up. It's possible that surrender just means that acknowledgement. The 100% acknowledgement that almost everything in my life, when I leave the house, everything about when I leave the house and everything when I'm going to leave the house, I acknowledge that it's about the collective them, that I live my life for them, that when I'm going to a family reunion, I'm getting ready to see them, that when I'm going to and then it's a performance for them. And when I'm getting ready to fly back to North Dakota to see my family, I'm thinking about them all the way. When I set up my yard and I weed my yard, I'm thinking about what the neighbors think of me and my good yard. And I'm looking over at the neighbor's yard and I'm seeing what they have. And I'm driving my car and I'm wondering what they think about my car. But see, surrender has to be this acknowledgement. Can you acknowledge with this acknowledgement that my life, all of a sudden, there is tremendous impact that could come with that acknowledgement? I will tell you, the reason I'm suggesting this is because the people that will not surrender will not admit it. They will not admit to me that their life is about looking good. They will not admit to me that their life is a performance for them. They say, no, it ain't. I didn't say that to look good. I didn't tell her she was stupid just to look good. I told her she was stupid because she's stupid. I don't complain to look good. I complain because they're the problem. You see, I don't care what people think about me, Art. I don't care. There you go, looking good. It doesn't matter. You see, so the people that I see that are still fighting, what they are fighting is they're fighting that the way out will be through their identity. That somehow, if they continue to just create a better story about themselves, if they just create a better vision for others to see, if they perform better, if they just get a bigger house, a nicer place, and they perform and they look good, that they will be happy because they will look around and everybody will know. I'm here to say one thing. What differentiates me, if anything, from somebody who isn't surrendered is I understand, and I will tell you 100% that my life is a performance for them. That you can call me on it, you can say whatever you want, but it's goddamn true. That I care so deeply what you all think. That I really concern myself with it. That I care deeply. And if there was nobody else on the planet, I wouldn't do shit. The surrender is, yes, you're right. My life has been about looking good, and it's goddamn unmanageable. It is entirely unmanageable. I never get there. I never look good enough. I never impress the they like I want to. It's never enough. As soon as I get them impressed a little bit, one of the theys say, what's next? It never ends. And that is what my life is about. With that, acknowledgement, surrender, and a tremendous impact is possible. Only when you say that. Because when you say that, humility shows up. Humility shows up. So with the surrender to that fact, humility shows up. And now there's another step. It isn't just surrender and you're humble and it's over. Another step happens. You surrender to your identity as something other than you, a kind of a foreign installment. So now you look down at your identity that is so concerned about how important it is and about how it looks, and you become the watcher of this. It's an upward movement to an observer position where you just surrender to the fact that you have this thing inside of you that speaks to you, that motivates you, that talks to you, and generally just encompasses you with this idea of what they think. As I surrender to this real revelation, and I have a revelation, and I surrender that, and I'm not saying there's something to do with it, guys. I'm not saying there's a way out. I'm saying when you surrender to this, and when you take this observer position, an enormous thing happens. You quit fighting other human beings. You quit denying the truth. You quit when you quit commenting on everything. You quit actually you can take a position of this thing that watches your identity rather than watching everybody else from your identity. And you just see everybody challenging, every fight is who's cooler. So the possibility exists when you can actually get to this place where you can say it, and you can say that, you can acknowledge it, you can move to the observer position, and now you can put your identity forth as an inner challenge. See the next movement? There's actually more. There's the movement, there's the surrender to it, to the fact that my life has been just a series of me trying to look good, whether I was in junior high, elementary school, high school, social settings, workplace. That's just what my life has been about. And when I can surrender to that fact and I can take the observer position, I now have a different opportunity to surrender to something else. I can surrender to the inner experience of being a human being. And the identity is just put forth to give us different human experiences. So now we take our identity and it's just a figurehead. We stand behind it and put it out there to be criticized. Go ahead, smash it. I'll feel a lot of insecurity. It's going to suck in here for a minute, but I'm going to accept it. And so now you just take your identity and you just kind of travel with it in your hand. But when we live as our identity and we deny that it's about looking good, we cannot get told we're wrong. We cannot get criticized. We defend, we justify, blame. It's a big deal. Do you know that when we get upset, it's never anything it's just always something about our identity not looking good? Every time we get upset, it's just about us not looking good. Almost 100% of the time. Very rarely is it something else. The beauty comes when we can acknowledge this. Surrender to it. The possibility for a different existence shows up. See, you scrape away this layer of identity that blocks us from everything. And once you can scrape that away, the possibility that you can love another human being might show up. And not love like I love you because it looks like you do shit that I like, and then it looks like I do shit that you like. But no, like love. Not love like the menu, but love like the food. To really actually get under this looking good and to see another human being and to see one tear coming down. And then drugs and alcohol showed up for some of us. And we got an actual break from it. If you don't believe me, go to any wedding. Wait till the drugs and alcohol are induced. It goes from a very dull place with a group of people that are very concerned about what they think to about 3 beers in. and nobody's concerned anymore. A lot of bad dancing. Go to a wedding and see what I'm talking about. So the question is, can you surrender to this? See, I don't think I can see surrender in any other light now. It doesn't mean to give up. It means to stop ignoring the fact. It means to surrender to the fact that that's what my life's about. And if I can surrender to that fact, there's other possibilities that exist. But only when I do. And the possibility for transformation, and the possibility for new experience, and the possibility to take my identity as just a projection, and I can just put it out there to see how concerned I am with it. And I just kind of put it out there in my hand and say, if you're telling me I'm bad, it's not me, it's it. Go ahead. I don't need to defend it. I don't need for it to be right. It's just an identity. It's just a thought. So the surrender comes with that. And I see people that tell me they have surrendered, but they haven't surrendered to that, so you haven't, and I can't see what you've done. Because you're still fighting. You're still trying to improve your identity in order to be happy. Anyways, so it's just that I don't know what to do with it, guys. If I get to a point where I know what to do with it, I'll let you know. But for me, it's just an acknowledgement, and it's had tremendous impact on my life, and it's had tremendous impact on my ability to apologize and say I'm sorry to people, and it's had tremendous impact on me not yelling at people. It's had tremendous impact on that. So anyways, once again, thank you very much.
I have 3 things.
I should get an A for effort, I'm too tired, but I'm never giving up, that's why I'm kinda admired. Role model, like it or not, I gotta play it. Sugarcoat the rhyme sometimes, but still say it. Said I was quitting at 40 is just a fib. I'm still a kid that's wiping the food off of my bib. You ever wanted something so bad that you could taste it? Cried over every opportunity wasted.